Hi everybody, welcome to our Amud Yom Shir. Okay, we are in Shabbos Daf Nun Ches Amud Aleph. We're going to learn today about slaves and stamps. Okay, Nun Ches Amud Aleph, here we are. So the Mishnah, which Baruch Hashem, we started Perek B'Meisha, the sixth Perek, the Mishnah a daf ago, the Mishnah Daf Nun Zayin Amud Aleph said that that kavul, a woman should not go out bekovul l'rshus harabim. There's this term called kavul, and that item, that clothing item, a woman should not wear it to Reshus HaRabim. Only Reshus HaYochid, not Reshus HaRabim. And the question is, what does Kabul mean? What does it mean? So one opinion, in the previous Amud, there was the opinion of Rav Avo, or Biabo said that that is like a kippah, like some kind of head cover for a woman that she puts like under her, the main hat, there's like a lower inferior hat underneath, and that she should not wear to Reshus Harabim. The reason being that many tachshitim and clothing items were also for women to wear, lest they come to show it to their friends. They'll come to show the item to their friend and would carry it to Daladamas B'Reshus Harabim. And the other opinion will be above, believe that that can even happen to a head cover. Although a woman does not uncover her hair in Reshus Harabim, she'll be able to slip it underneath because it's under the other one, and to show it, there's a chashash. That was Rabbi Abau, that was the other opinion. And now we are on to the other opinion, and that's going to be the main topic today. Shmuel Omar Kavla de Avdatnan. Shmuel says that the kabel that we spoke about, the kavul, is the kavul of a slave, which really means a stamp of a slave, the like a seal. There used to be seals. Avodim, we may be talking about a female slave, but the same applies to men. Isha here is not lav dafka. It's also a man, a woman. And the issue is, avodim used to wear like seals, like a stamp, to show that they're owned by Mr. So-and-so. And according to Shmuel, that is something a slave should not go out to Reshus Harabim with this kavul. Maybe it's like a cable, like something that he ties, as opposed to the kavul of the woman, the keeper of the woman, which she may wear because she's not going to uncover her hair. So let's see how that works out. Shmuel Amar Kavla de Avdatnan. Yeah, in other words, when we spoke about the Kabul, we speak about the slave's stamp, seal, that he shouldn't go out to the street. Why? Why we're going to see soon. First of all, there's a stira. Frag the Gemara, mi Amar Shmuel Achi, did Shmuel indeed say that a slave should not go out to the street with a kavla? Shmuel clearly said otherwise. It says in another statement of Shmuel, an eved may go out in a choisam on his tzavar, on his neck. Yeah, they used to have like a necklace on the neck, and that is okay to go out with. If it's something that is attached to his ksus, to his garment, let's say over here on the slave or over here, that choisam is not allowed to go out with. You may be dying out of curiosity, what's the reason, yes or no? But as we answer the question, we're going to also explain the reason. So first of all, it seems like Shmuel is contradicting himself whether yes or no an Eved may go out wearing that choisam. Answers Gemara lo kasha, had the Oved le Rabbe, had the Oved Yula Nafshe. Okay, now the cat is out of the bag, which means Oved le Rabbe, sometimes the seal would be made by the master. The master, the owner of the Eved, he would make the seal, his people, they would make the seal. That would be like a very formal, official seal. This Eved belongs to the household of so-and-so. If an Eved would, remove such a seal, if it be seen such a thing, that he wants to show that he is not an Eved, because an Eved has a big Yetzer Hara to remove the seal in the street. It's a very derogatory thing. It's very belittling, very degrading to wear such basically a stamp of unapproval that he's an Eved. So if it's done by his Odoin, he may wear it because there's no concern that he may go and take it off and carry it in his hand. But if he did it for himself, if it's something that's done by himself, in other words, sometimes the balabais, the master, would tell the Odoin, you have to wear your own seal, make your own seal. It should be clear to everybody that you're my slave. But those seals were a little bit less formal. Yeah, Tosfos says they're not as makpid. Of course, you have to wear it, But if you take it off, it's not the end of the world. And therefore, if that's a seal that he did for himself, that seal he should not throw to Rishus Harabim, because once he is away of the Adon's eyesight, then he may really remove it, take it in his hand, Daladamas, and there will be a big Avera. There will be Daladamas Rishus Harabim, which is always a concern, and that's the reason. Now, let's not forget that we also differentiated before between the one worn on the neck and the one worn on the cloth, on the fabric, on the garment. Why? So the Gemara is asking a similar question. How did we explain now Shmuel's statement, the second statement, that to differentiate between the neck and the garment, right? We said that the master did it for him. If the master did it, no problem. Then if he wears it on the neck, it's okay. He will never remove it. He's just too scared. If so, so why are you telling me that if he wears it on his, let's say, sleeve, on his collar, why do we say then he shouldn't be wearing it? Why not? If it's made by the master, he'll never take it off. So what's a chashash? Zok the Gemara, that's the reason. Reason number 2. Dilma mifsak umirtat umikapil lei umachit leakatfe. Let me explain. Sometimes the Eved removes it out of his own volition because he wants to remove it out of his own free will. Sometimes it falls off. A mishken shlemazel the Eved. The choisam, poof, fell off his body or off his garment. Umirtat, he's so scared. Oy vey, how will I be seen in the street without the actual seal? We're not concerned about the seal that's broken. That's going to be later on. Right now, he's walking down the street on Shabbos. People see him without the choisam of what? Of his rabbi. So you know what's going to do? They're going to snitch to the other. You know what he does? In other words, he now takes the, let's say, the sleeve, and where the seal is supposed to be, and is now empty because it fell on the floor, he's now folding it over. Let's say the seal is supposed to be here, he's folding it over here, so it looks as if his Odin asks him later, no, what do you mean? I was wearing your seal, I just hid it. It's not as makpid, yeah? Right? Taisa says, yeah? In other words, if he sees him folding it, it's not so nice. Why are you not showing the seal? It's not as bad as completely breaking it or taking it off. And therefore, if it is something that he wears on his sleeve, as we say, you wear your heart on your sleeve. If it's something that he wears in his garment, then there's a chashash it's going to fall, and then you're going to fold it. And because of that, if it's on the garment, even if it's made by the other, and it's asur. I'm going to summarize soon. It's really easier than you think. Let's get to the 2 dots, and then we'll summarize. What we just said is supported by Yitzchak bar Yosef. Now, this is true about each and every person, that when you fold it, what's the problem? What's wrong with the Eved folding the sleeve like that, going over 2 layers on one spot in his body? That could be an Isser Deoraisa. You fold your talis and you wear the entire talis over your shoulders, in a way that's absolutely abnormal. This is a very, very big yesod which applies today, Rabbi Isai, in Hilchas Shabbos. It's not a halacha shir, but this applies. And that is, let's say you take your talis and you fold it many times over here like a scarf. Nobody else in your community does that. You're basically folding over and over here. Chayiv chatos. Wow. When you wear something in a way that is not normal, and is like, says Rashi, Eino tachshit el bezman shelo yivshu derech malbush. Your garment is only considered as tachshit for your body, serving the purpose of your body, if you wear it the normal way. If somebody wears, let's say, I don't give more examples because I know it's a big sugya. Remember, there's a big B'Yosef about it. Depends what's normal in his time. But when you take something and you fold it over your shoulders, over your head, in a way that's not normally worn like that, looks like you're crazy, and therefore it's not the normal way of wearing, you chayav chatas, and that's a concern. The Eved has the choisem over here, boom, it fell and broke. Now, if you fold it over, that folding itself of your talis of the Eved would be chayav chatas. We're concerned of that, and that's why it's usher to wear in the beged. As Shmuel told Rav China bar Shila, which was one of the Rabbonim who were under Resh Galusa. Resh Galusa had, his own cadre of Rabbonim. And he told Rav China the Balshila, Kula Rabbana de Berish Galusa, lo leipku besarbali chasimi. All of Berish Galusa should not wear sarbali, a garment, like a long garment called sarbal, with the choisam. They're not allowed to wear any choisam on their garment, because if it falls, even the Chachamim would be so scared of Berish Galusa, they would fold it over, and it's a sarbal. We're not talking about the neck. The bar minach, except for you, the lakab dialach the berish galusa. Except for you, you're the only one that can wear it. Why? Because you're not makpid in you. Berish galusa gives you special treatment. You have protectia. You have like a higher status, and therefore, even if your choisam would fall, nobody would tell you anything. You know, like the Resh Lakish's kivyochel, Resh Lakish's favorite, and therefore you're not going to fold it over. Let's summarize. It's really very easy. Basically, if the Eved made the choisam himself, if it's made by the Eved, it's always osir. He would always have the Yetzer Hara to remove it, whether it's on his neck, on his clothes, or on his glasses. It's always osir. If it's made by the Odoin, you need two conditions basically. Made by the Odoin, he will not want to remove it, he's too scared. And if it's going to fall, well, depends. So if it's on the garment, it's a problem, you may fold it. But if it's on the neck, then there's nothing you can do about it. If it's on the neck and it fell, you're not gonna, there's nothing you can do. And therefore what? Very easy. In order to be matir the wearing of the choisam and the Reshus HaRabim, you need two conditions. Simple. So far, two conditions: made by the Odain and worn on the neck. Only then it's allowed. Beautiful. Now we're going to continue into one more layer, one more stage in the sugya, one more condition. Really easy. Gufa. Let's now delve into the previous topic. Omar Shmuel, says Shmuel, Yoitza Eved b'choisam shebetzavoi. An Eved, as we just saw, is allowed to wear a choisam that's worn on the neck, like a necklace. Avala b'choisam shebeksusoi, not if it's on his garment, because he may come to fold. And that's talking about one made by the Odoin. Very nice. Tananami Achi. Shmuel gets support from a Brisa. It says in the Brisa, Yoitza Eved b'choisam shebetzavoi. Excuse me. Yeah, in the tzavar, don't go out. Why? Because even if it's excuse me, that was a brisa. The brisa said, look, Shmuel with the tzavar is okay. If it's made by the Odoin, yes. It's worn on the neck, yes. No chashash. You won't remove it, and if it falls, you won't do anything about it. Only the ksusa is a problem. You should fold. Very good. You may come to fold. Problem. Now we're going to ask a stira in the brisa, another brisa. Oops! All of a sudden, the brisa is telling us something different. An Eved may not go out with a choisam worn on his neck. Already now we have a stira, because we see that whether it's on the neck or on the garment, both are osir. So there's a stira regarding if it's on the tzavar, on the neck, and it's made by the Odoin. One time we see it's okay, one time we see it's not okay. Let's see how that works out. But beforehand, let's finish the brisa. That's important to know. Neither choisam, neither this choisam nor that choisam, they never accept tuma. Why don't they accept tuma? So, well, first of all, because they're not considered a tachshit. Rashi explains tachshit. Jewelry is not really a kli. Jewelry is not a functional kli like a knife or a fork or a bowl, right, or a table. Tachshit is a function because it makes you beautiful, makes you look good. And the Torah was mechadish, a special chidush in tachshitim regarding Bnois Midian. After Bnei Yisrael came out victorious with the milchama with Pinchas against Midian, that those items are mekabel tuma the tachshitim. That's only if they beautify the body. But this piece of, derogatory, demeaning thing, it's demeaning for him to wear the avdus on his sleeve. That's not called a tachshit. It doesn't beautify him, doesn't serve any purpose for the body. The Odin is very happy that he has like a dog on a leash. But the Eved is not happy. It doesn't make the Eved look better. And therefore, it's not mekabel tuma. It's not mekabel tuma. Okay. V'loy bezug shebetzavoi. Loy zug shebetzavoi. In other words, if let's say he wears a bell, on his neck, that he shouldn't go out on Shabbos. We're going to see why later. But he may wear the bell if the bell is sewn is like sewn into his garment. The bell will be discussed at the end of the page. Leave it for now. A bell is makabel tuma. Why? Again, what's makabel tuma? Only a kli. A kli is either something functional or a nice tachshit. A bell is nice. A bell is considered nice. Rings and looks nice. Golden. A bell is always an elegant. People even today sometimes have bells like little kids. They have it on their clothes. That's considered as something which is a tachshit. It's a kli. It's makabel tuma. That was an eved. Now let's go to behema. Lehavdil. Lo teitza behema lo b'choisum shebetzavora velo b'choisum shebeksusa. A behema should not wear any choisam on Shabbos, neither on the neck nor on the saddle, let's say, because again, it's not functional for the behema, it's functional for the owner. It doesn't make the animal's not happy with it, doesn't make it warm, remember? But maybe behema doesn't make it warm or nice or good. Stam, a piece of garbage to make sure that you know that the animal belongs to you. She shouldn't wear it on Shabbos. Oh, they remember from last parak. The previous parak who said that a bell, either the bell is tied to its garment or the bell is on its neck, don't wear it on Shabbos, even if it's stuffed. Why? You go out to the street, it looks as if you're going to sell it in the market. This is a good chazara. Why is the bell of the behema not mekabel tuma? Because when the Torah said that tachshitim are mekabel tuma, only jewelry of people, jewelry of behema, or jewelry of kalim, that's too far-fetched. The Torah never was mechadish. Ainly boy el chidushay. The Torah is never mechadish about animals' jewelry. You know, we're not in California here. Yeah, basically, there's no such thing halachically recognized as animal jewelry. It's not called a kli. But the question remains a question. We see that on the neck, right? We see that one time we saw in the Bryce that the eved should not wear, and then we said that he should wear it. Lema, let us say that the solution, the way to reconcile this stira, had over lerabe, had over the ulanafshe. Maybe that's a difference. The one time when he did it for himself, then he may remove it. But when the Rav did it to him, when the master did it to him, then maybe he should, right? Then he's allowed to wear it. And that's not like we said before. That doesn't work right with what we said before. Again, let me repeat the question. We see a steer about an Eved wearing a necklace. If he himself did it, for sure that's bad. Because if he did it himself, he feels very good taking it off and he'll mamish wear it. So when is it not okay? When is it okay to wear it? When the master did it, because then he won't remove it. Oh, but we're not concerned it's going to fall. Then it's not like we said before. Beforehand, we said that if it's on the neck, it's always osur, even with the master. We said it's always osur in the neck, right? And therefore, excuse me, it's always okay on the neck. Excuse me. See, I got confused myself. It's always okay to wear it on the neck. It's okay to wear it on the neck because, why? Because he's not going to remove it. And if it's going to fall, nothing would happen. Now you're saying sometimes it's not okay. Why? Before it we said it's fine. Now we're saying it's not fine. Why? Answers Marloi. Idi ve'idi de ovad le rabbe. In both cases, enachinami, when he wears it on his neck and it was made by the master, before it was said it's fine. Now we're going to find another case, even the new brisa. The Odin did it, it's on his neck, and yet there is a concern. What's the concern? Oh, that's good. Which means, what happens if, as we said, we are concerned that the seal may, boom, fall down and break? Oh, won't the Eved go back home at least with the leftovers? The master is going to be furious. Where is your choisem? Where is your seal? It fell a shlemazo. At least give me back the broken pieces. Oh, when does the master care about broken pieces? When they're valuable, when they're worth something. So if it's made out of mateches, that necklace thing, made out of mateches, bad news. The Eved, the slave, he may fall, he may be so scared he's going to carry it to take it back home. And therefore, if it's made out of mateches, even though it's on the neck, and even though it's made by the master, still there's the third concern. Mateches, he may pick up the pieces to give them back to the owner. The kan b'shel tit. Now, tit, don't get confused, is not cheres. Tit is mud. Sometimes the choisam was so cheap, it was made out of mud, not even clay that's been through the furnace or the kiln. It's mamash like raw mud, very, very cheap. If the tit thing fell off, nobody's going to pick it up. It's like disposable plates, the cheap white one, nothing. And therefore, here we're adding a third condition. It's really not hard. You have to have three conditions in order to allow an Eved to go out to the street with the Chosam and Shabbos. A, made by the Odoin, so you won't remove it. It's on his neck, so there's no chash of, placing the extra cloth over here. And thirdly, it's made out of mud, so he's not going to pick up the broken pieces because they're worthless. Three conditions, simple. Now, who supports what we just said? Ukadav Nachman Omar Rabba Baravua. What did he say? Dover Hamakpidol of Rabbi. If it's material that the master cares about and he wants to see at least the broken pieces, bring them back home, and yoitzin boy, he's not allowed to go out with it because he may pick up the pieces. Something you're not makpid, and the master doesn't care about, it's okay to go out with it because you're not going to pick up the pieces. Now the Gemara wants to prove it from another point in the Brisa. If you remember, we spoke on the Brisa also about Tuma. What did we say about Tuma? Meaning neither this choisam nor that choisam, because it's a choisam, and choisam doesn't beautify the person, only because it doesn't beautify him, that's why it's not mekabel tuma. Says the Gemara, wait, if you're saying it's made out of metal, like we were saying now, because it's metal, it's a problem to go with it on Shabbos, because if it breaks, the Odin wants to see the pieces back and probably resolder them. Then makes sense the lotion of the Brisa. Haniu de lo mekabli tuma, akelim didu mekabli tuma, which means mateches, metal generally is something that's mekabel tuma. A metal bowl, a metal knife, a metal everything's mekabel tuma. Only zeh v'zeh, only this and that, those two are not mekabel tuma because they're not achshitim, because they make the Eved look ugly and demean. Yeah, that's why. But if you want to tell me that we're talking here about the choisa mesil made out of tit, made out of what? Made out of pashut clay, that's not even clay, that is like mud, then that's what you're telling me, Tnan. You're telling me these are not mikabel tuma because they're degrading for the Eved. It's not a tachshit, it's not benos median. You want to tell me that otherwise? Let's say it would be beautiful and amazing and says that I'm the best. Then it would be mekabel tuma? No, that material never is mekabel tuma. So the lashon of the Brisa doesn't fit. It says, look, Vatanya, it says in the Brisa, I think it's actually a Mishnah somewhere, Klei avonim, if you have keli made out of stone, mamish raw stone, you shaped stone into a kli. Klei glolim are kelim that are made out of either, dung of an animal, or some say made out of marble. Klei adama, that's our man. Klei adama is tit. Keli made out of earthenware, not being through the fire, not being through the kiln. Things made out of tit, made out of the mud, they're never makabel tuma, not even with Rabbanon. It's absolutely fine. So you're telling me these are not makabel tuma? Nothing from tit is makabel tuma. Not just only these choisam because it's not nice enough. Very good. Must be, we're talking here about mateches, and that's a very nice thing. Because it's mateches and it's otherwise mekabel tuma, gold, silver, all the metals, mateches, nechoishes, all mekabel tuma. Elamai, only this one, because it's made for an Eved, it's not mekabel tuma. Very nice. It's really that simple. So you need three conditions to, yes, be able to go to the street with the choisam. One of them is on the neck. So let's start the other way around. It's made by the odoin, so the Eved is scared to take it off. It's on the neck, because then he will not fold over, because the neck is a place where there's no beged bichlal. Thirdly, it's made out of tit, because then even if it falls, he's not going to pick up the broken piece, because they're not worth anything. We saw that the Eved may not go out with a zug, with a bell on Shabbos worn on his neck, hanging on his neck. If the Eved has a bell that's sewn into his ksus, into his garment, into his clothes, then it is okay. You can go out with it. Why do you say that the bell on the neck straight hanging, you can't go out? It may fall, and you'll quickly pick it up with your hands. The Odin wants to see it back. So if it's on his garment, maybe also if it's hanging on the garment quite loosely, it's hanging on the garment, it may also fall, and he may also come to latuya to carried daladamis b'rshus harabim, isro doraisa to carry daladamis b'rshus harabim. And says the Gemara, and you know the stories over here. The micha bei mumcha. We're talking here about a bell that is mamish properly well sewn into, stitched into the beged. It's mamish sewn, woven into the beged, it's not going to fall. If it's properly stitched and sewn, even woven into it, there's no chashash that it will ever fall, and therefore there's no gzera, and may go within Shabbos. Thank you very much. Hatzlacha bracha tomorrow at Hashem. Thank you, Hatzlacha. Thank you for watching us. Kol tuv, Hatzlacha.